Avengers, assemble. Welcome back to Sanders Presents. I'm Greg, and if you're enjoying the content we're producing, please consider following that link in the description below to become an Avenger today by joining our Patreon. We have two tiers available, a $3 tier and a $5 tier. At that $5 tier, you become an Avenger Premium member, and as a founding Avenger, you have access to our regular comic drops. Your name will be added to our Avenger Memorial Hall of Fame, which is featured in every video, all of our current Avenger Premium members. Thank you all so much for your support, and to all of my Avengers, thank you all again for making this content possible and for supporting independent creators. Thank you so much. So let's get right into it. There's been a little bit of a gap now in terms of the last time we really talked about the raid to where we are now, and I wanted to start getting feedback and perspective from everybody. So obviously I haven't been able to put a team together on Steam or PC to get the raid going, and I'm also transitioning now to the Microsoft version, so I have to start over completely, which is never really fun, which again, that's why I keep going on about cross progression. Like, it's really, we were gifted some Xbox PC Game Pass time, and so right now we have Game Pass on PC, which includes Marvel's Avengers, which means we can play with people on the Xbox and we can play with people who have it on the Microsoft Store on PC, which opens up possibilities of actually getting people to play with. But we have, again, it's starting over. I mean, and that's tedious. That's a little annoying. And again, it's why I keep singing and going on about praising, like, just cross progression. You can't have full clean crossplay because of Sony's nonsense. Fine, whatever. But cross progression, I mean, Destiny's doing it, Halo, like all these games have it so easily. We got to get that added. We got to get that added. We need it. And I'm going to keep going on about it anytime that, especially content like this comes up. So, the raid. Now, going off of some feedback, it seems like, because like I said, haven't been able to experience it myself, but we're, again, we are a viewer-led channel. We have our Avengers. We have our Avengers who, who are thoughtful, and they ask questions and they comment and they leave interest. They talk about their experiences with the game. They talk about their experiences with Marvel. It inspires video topics, and I'm always grateful for any kind of interaction with the community. And so where that puts us at right now is it seemed like there may have been a little rough. Some people commented that they weren't able to finish it. It kind of bugged them out, or there was some DCing and it disappointed them, and it was hard to get it to, and they felt disheartened or disillusioned. And then there are some who said that, it seemed like they had a hard time just finding people who actually were using microphones to talk and putting a group together like that, which again, I always sing the praise of our Discord and our community. We got a huge slate of people who are playing Marvel's Avengers across Xbox and PlayStation, and they're always looking to put, together a team, and they're always, looking for a good time. That's what she said. Anyway. But it seems like so a little rocky, some bugs and stuff like that. There, definitely some issues. But again, this is community led, right? This is community led. So this is where I want to frame it in a way that you can share your experience, your honest experience, your transparent, honest experience with the raid. So let's kind of go through just a few general questions that hopefully, if you will, you'll answer in the comments below, and we can, build this out. We can use it as a point of reference. Again, Crystal Dynamics can use it as a point of reference. Square Enix can use it as a point of reference. Marvel can use it as a point of reference. It's important to not, engage as a community, but engage as a community with the developers in a reasonable, respectful, and critical way, right? Because we want it to be successful. If we're enjoying the content, we want more of it. We want it to be successful. We want to see more of it. If we notice problems or bugs or issues, then the best thing is to get the word out that, hey, this is a problem, just to do it in a way, again, that is respectful and conversational and not confrontational. Because, again, the developers, I mean, we have to remember, these are real, actual people. Now, of course, they are on a holiday break, which, they rightfully deserve. But as it stands right now, I guess let's start with some basic questions. One, the most basic one, what are you playing on? PlayStation 4, PS4 Pro, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, whatever other versions of Xbox there are, for God's sake. But, what exact console model are you playing on? This is important. You may not realize it, but that actually is really important. So what console you're playing on, not just the family, but specifically what console you are playing on. Then the other question is, and again, I know it seems like it might not be important. I know some of this may seem like weird questions, but it is actually very relevant. When you, as you're, again, you're playing online, we have to assume, you're playing online. Again, if you're playing on PC, but the PC, I mean, I have to freely admit, the PC doesn't have as large of a player base. It has shrunk and unfortunately, has not significantly recovered. So, are you hardlined or are you wireless in terms of your internet connection? Do you have an Ethernet port? Do you have an Ethernet cord plugged directly into your console, directly into your modem, so that you are hardlined and getting the absolute best possible, speed, so to speak? Are you wireless Wi-Fi? And again, that speaks for itself. Are you over Wi-Fi, or are you connecting wirelessly without any Ethernet? Again, it's important to note that. How are you connecting? Because again, it goes into disconnects. Are you yourself as a player, have you disconnected from the raid? And if so, if not, how many times have you disconnected from the raid? Again, relatively speaking, you don't have to keep like absolute track, but also, are you playing with other people who seem to be disconnecting often? What are your disconnecting statistics? How often are you experiencing disconnects in the raid, whether it is you or someone or multiple people in the raid just dropping out? And again, we're looking for actual disconnects because that is bug related. We're not looking for people because again, we have to know the difference. Someone who is a jerk, who is like, oh, you're not playing this fast enough, you're not doing what I say, and they disconnect and they do it deliberately, that's not a bug. That's just, unfortunately, that's what happens when you put random groups together. So there is a difference. One, we can't hold Crystal Dynamics accountable, and we can't make that a part of the statistic because that will fudge the numbers. It happens all the time. It does. It happens when I played World of Warcraft. It happens when I played Destiny. There are people who just are like, you know what? I'm not even doing, and that's fine, whatever. But it happens. But we can't put that a part of the statistic because that's not on Crystal Dynamics. So, again, what is actual disconnects where it is where would it be considered a bug, not someone being a jerk or whatever. So then also and again, other general bugs, boss fight bugs, puzzle bugs. Can you not get through something? Can you not pass something? Stuck in a wall, enemies not spawning, boss not spawning, heroes not spawning. Because again, that's important too. If your character isn't fully appeared, hey, maybe you spent money on a costume. You want to see it. If your character isn't fully appearing, that's relevant. That's important. We got to note all of this. We got to note all of it, but we need to know how it's all connected. That's why we need these other questions answered too, about your console, about how you're connected to the internet. Those things are important. And again, I know that this all sounds boring. I know it all sounds a little, technical, and it doesn't seem relevant, but it is relevant. And also, because again, in a conversation about bugs and stuff, have you ever had AI hero spawn? We've talked about this ad nauseum in the channel. If you've been with Sanders Presents, since we have been covering Avengers, you will have seen our gameplay where we've had 4 players and then 2 AI two AI Avengers spawn for a full team of 6, which is crazy, but it's happened several times, playing on PC and PlayStation 4. And again, the base PlayStation 4. So all these things are important. They're interesting, but just any bugs, anything that stands out or comes to your mind, like anything that, hey, this didn't spawn, this wall didn't spawn, this wall was invisible, we got stuck in the floor, anything like that you can list that, hinders your experience, dampens your experience, right? And again, it's all about being reasonable. I'm not trying to get people to comment and go, "Oh my God, the crystal." We're not talking about. We're not trying to lay on the developers. Games get put out. There are bugs. These things happen. Let's get a conversation going so that we can try to have a master list of things that can be fixed. As the holiday break comes to an end, just actual things that can be fixed, improved upon. Let's get the conversation going in a certain direction. Then there's just the raid itself, right? Is it fun? Is it fun? All technicalities aside, all technical issues aside, is it fun? When it works proper and it works thoroughly, is it fun? So we have to answer that question. What is your favorite segment of the raid? What is your least favorite segment of the raid? What is your favorite boss fight of the raid? If you want to call some of these encounters, and that might be a variable to each person, but what is your favorite, encounter in the raid? What is your least favorite encounter in the raid? What does work? What doesn't work? Were you lost? Were you confused? Did the game not communicate what you were supposed to do clearly? Did you ever get to a point where you were like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Again, issues like that aren't bug related, but that are just in terms of that they're content related, that are, communicated, that aren't communicated right. Issues like that. How did you feel about the raid? And again, how do you feel about the rewards of the raid? Do you feel like when you completed it that you got rewards for your time that you consider, hey, yeah, these are good rewards for the time that I spent? So again, let's start this discussion here, right? Let's get these questions answered, and then hopefully, we can get a really good pool of answers, and then we can follow up on it. Because again, we are community driven, so your responses will lead to, again, a future video topics and sequels to this. So thank you for being involved. As I said at the top of the video, to my Avengers, to my patrons, thank you so much for your support and for making this content possible. If you're able, please consider following the link in the description below to become an Avenger today. And thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. I really do appreciate it. Please consider liking this video if you haven't, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and sharing our content across social media. It helps immensely with YouTube's analytics and algorithms. We really do appreciate it. Above all else, and most importantly though, stay safe, take care of others, and have a marvelous day. Bye everyone.